We talking jit, said it's time for a brand new episode of Talking Jit.
How's that look? This is cool.
Yeah.
We good? Audio? Cool.
Check 1, 2.
You want to just hop into it?
Yeah,
No
let's do
warm
it.
up?
I'm good if you are.
I'm good.
Sweet.
You get my notes up here. There's no way in hell. But dude, I was like, so I purposely like do all this last minute so that the hype sticks with me.
Yeah.
Cause I would like kind of think of like, what am I going to talk about? What angle are we going to take on this?
Yeah.
And then I would get to it and I would start like, I don't know if it's something for with me mentally. I would start second guessing the questions.
Right.
But then I realized it's like, if I waited, I was more excited when I asked. And I think it made for better
It makes
stuff.
sense. It makes sense.
So, but last night writing this, I was like, all right, I've had a pastor on before and he gave his story.
Yeah.
I don't want to do like the same old, but like brainstorming, dude, I'm so excited to get your perspective on a lot of these questions, especially with your jiu-jitsu background.
Heck yeah, dude.
So like the way I've been thinking of it is most people like don't think of pastors in fighting.
Yeah.
Or violence and peace.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But there's an aspect that I thought was really cool. It's like, there's a quote that I really like, and it's, I'd rather be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
It's absolutely right.
Right?
Yep.
So why does a pastor train to fight?
Yeah. That's a great question. You know, for me personally, it's always something I was drawn to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly why, but as I started to follow God, it was weird because one year over summer, I had this experience at a camp and I felt like, this may sound weird, but I felt like the Holy Spirit was asking me to look up what your name means. And so I looked up what my name means. My name's Marcelo, and it means little warrior. And for me, there was this epiphany of,
that's cool.
My name means little warrior. And I believe that God has called me to be a warrior for his kingdom because, as you know, there's a lot of darkness out there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of bad people, bad spirits, bad things. And God has called me to be a warrior of light. So I think at my core, I was always called to be a warrior. Like the quote you said about I'd rather be a warrior in a garden, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I found like, okay, that's who I am. I'm a warrior, but I'm a warrior for God. And so jiu-jitsu is like the natural progression of that.
Yeah.
You know, as Christians, a lot of people think, oh, you're supposed to be like a pacifist and weak. Not at all. Some of the strongest men I know are men of faith. You know, some of the strongest warriors I know.
That's a lot of what I want to get into today.
Yeah.
So that, and it's like I said, I was trying to think of like what direction to go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, you're a blue belt, right?
Yep.
I think I heard on one of your podcasts, your goal is to get your purple quickly.
Yes.
How's that going?
It's, not going good. My goal was to get it this year in October. But I haven't been training a lot just with the 2 kids, but I got a 2-year-old and a 9-month-old.
Mm-hmm.
So once my 2-year-old can start coming to class at like 3 or 4,
It'll be a lot easier.
it'll be a lot easier on me.
I get that. But going back to what you said, give me a little bit more about how that worked. Cause you said that when I was setting up.
Right.
And I made a mental note. I want to know, like, how did you get this message and how did you know it was God speaking to you? Yeah,
that's a great question. So I got this message from God after I'd already been a Christian for a few years. I was already a pastor at this point. And one of my favorite things that I do is I take our teenagers to a summer camp. And basically the whole camp is we are just going to worship God. We're going to get in his presence. We're going to pray and we're going to allow him to move in our life. And even as the one who leads that, I still pray every year, God, speak to me. I'm taking this week aside from my normal routine, what I'm used to. Would you please speak to me? And that was what he revealed to me was, you're a warrior for my kingdom. Like I've called you to share the truth, to set the captives free. I look at Jesus and before he left, he told his disciples, go buy a sword. It's like, you need to be prepared. Because before when he was alive, he sent them out and said, hey, don't bring anything, just you two, because they were there to preach the kingdom. Well, now that Jesus was about to be killed, they were going to be on their own. They need to learn how to protect themselves, right?
Yeah.
And he gave them his spirit, the Holy Spirit, to help them. But he's like, things are going to get pretty hot. So be prepared.
Was the message like a thought in your head or was there a sign?
Yeah, no, it was, so the way the word of God, the Bible, explains God's voice is like it's a still small voice. There's a story where I believe it's Elijah, one of the prophets. They're on the top of this mountain, and they see this like crazy cloud come, this storm cloud, this wind, and God said, "Hey, God wasn't in the wind," and then he heard this still small voice, and it was God's voice. So a lot of times when a pastor or you hear a Christian say, "I felt God speak to me," what it is not an audible voice; it's more of a
Clarity.
It's more like, okay, things are aligning. It kind of makes sense. I've almost been led to this point, and then you test that, make sure it aligns with his word, because the great thing about his word is it never changes. So if God speaks to you and it's against his word, it's not God speaking to you. But if God speaks to you and it aligns with his word and he's called you to do something that he said in his word, you can then take that. So I took it as, hey, get ready. Like, I've called you to be a warrior for my kingdom, and I've seen the fruit of that. The amount of teenagers who are coming to church, giving their lives to Christ, living, for him completely, coming out of, addiction and broken homes and changing their families around, coming out of darkness into light, and it's just because of the message of Jesus.
What also makes this interesting is, believe it or not, full confessional.
Yeah.
I'm not super religious.
Yeah.
Like I believe in I'm not like agnostic or atheist,
right?
But I'm just not like a super religious. And my fiance, who comes to your what do you call it?
Church.
I don't want to use the wrong terms here.
Yeah, she comes to our services.
Comes to your services.
Yeah.
She's recently in the past year like really into it.
Yeah.
So I love my perspective. I love like the every story has like really good morals.
Yeah.
And everything like that. So as you're speaking to me, it's really cool because you're answering a lot of like what's in my head too.
Yeah.
This isn't just like, hey, talk to the camera, but you're actually like answering stuff that I've wondered.
Of course.
And the way you're already speaking, I'm like, okay, this is starting to paint a picture for me.
I know what it's like, because I doubted a long time, and it took me coming to a point where I'm not going to listen to what a pastor says to me. I'm not going to listen to what an organization says to me. I need to find out who Jesus is on my own. And when I was 17, I was coming out of a really dark place in my life, and I went to this youth camp, and I felt the presence of God. I felt his love for the first time. Like physically, I felt it. And I'm like, okay, I need to figure out what this is. So I opened up the Bible and I read the Gospel of John. And the whole time I'm trying to disprove Jesus. Like, I'm like, maybe he was a good teacher. Maybe he was a prophet. Maybe he was, just a crazy person.
Right.
And as I read, I was just becoming more and more convinced that he was who he said he was. And I look back and the Bible says that the word is alive and active. It's sharper than any two-edged sword. And to me, it was alive because it was speaking directly to me, even though it's the same words that you would read or anyone else would read.
That seems to be common. Like when I've come to your services, like Mother's Day.
Yeah.
She was speaking about how she opened the Bible.
Yeah.
And that wherever she landed, it just spoke to her.
Yeah, man.
And I've got friends who recently, seems like it's kind of catching fire lately. Like a lot of people are really starting to, I'm noticing around me, are starting to dedicate a lot more into this.
Yeah.
And they all kind of have the same experience. Like,
man.
They just somehow stumble upon what they need when they needed it.
Yep.
And it kind of just brought them in, which I think is super, super cool and super healthy.
Yeah, I think we're seeing something. There's a spiritual awakening happening where, we're coming out of a time where there was a lot of, atheism, people saying like, there's no God at all. Now people are more open to the idea that there's something spiritual going on.
What do you think triggered it?
I think seeing the darkness, as weird as that sounds, seeing the evil in the world, seeing people do things, we're like, how could someone possibly do that? I think it shows you like there's more to the story than just.
Do you think it's like media?
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of them control it. You know, the Bible says we don't battle against flesh and blood, but against evil forces, principalities in the unseen realm.
We talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
With some of my closest friends about, and it's like, I don't want to blow anyone up here, but I watch I've been around a lot of houses lately where the typical media is running all day long.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's really negative.
It's horrible.
like, and I'm listening to it in the background. I'm sitting here grinding and trying to do all my little hustles and stuff. And I can hear it in the background, and not even me paying attention, it's giving me a stressor.
Yeah, man.
And so I'm thinking, like, the people who are engaged in that, and a lot of the news on TV is not good news.
It's not.
It's negative.
Well, that's what sells. That's what gets people to watch.
So maybe that's what's.
I think part of it is definitely that people are like, man, this is
dark, like you
dark.
said, just like you said.
Yeah. Yeah.
What has had a bigger impact on your self-control, jiu-jitsu or your faith?
Great question. So I would say my faith in Jesus for sure, because I could not do jiu-jitsu until I got saved, which may sound weird.
Really?
So I'll give you a little of my backstory. As a teenager.
There goes half my interview.
Yeah, I know.
No, I'm just kidding.
When I was 15, my stepfather passed away from a drug overdose.
Oh.
And I found his body in the room. I had to do CPR. He was too far gone. But that sent me into a deep depression, I guess. I didn't know that's what it was, but
I get it.
that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And, I just started living just wrong, around the wrong people, getting into trouble, almost getting in trouble with the law. And I found myself in a dark place until, I was 17 years old, and I experienced that love that I was talking about. And from there, it was weird because once I started reading the Bible and I was open to the idea of Jesus, and I said, Jesus, if you're real, then I'm going to give you my life. Those things started to change. I actually had motivation to do things. I had self-discipline to say no to things that I would have said yes to. Like, I vividly remember, like, girls who I would, hook up with as a teenager calling me like, hey, are you free tonight? And just feeling like I don't want to do that anymore. And it wasn't because a pastor said that's wrong for you to do. It's because it's like my heart changed. And so it gave me a new lease on life. I kind of talked about it a few weeks ago in one of our services, where it gave me motivation. And I got into jiu-jitsu a few years after that. But the kid who was living in the world that I could have never shown up to classes and been disciplined. I was selfish. I wanted to have fun. I wanted to party. I wanted to drink. I wanted to just hang out. I grew up playing football, and I stopped that in high school because I just wanted to hang out with my friends,
That's heavy, man. Cause, I've had a couple of friends overdose, and it was, I didn't show any tears at the time, but it hurt.
Yeah.
And I can understand the darkness because it put me in a place of like, I don't care about anything, like not even myself.
That's exactly where I was.
So like, and that kept me out a little, almost backwards. I trained and was all in on fighting, especially during my MMA career. And that was like back in the day. But that darkness is what took me out for a long time. And that's where, I shimmied by prison and time. I like did things that you shouldn't do. I did things I don't even want to talk about because one, I'm scared that it comes back and bites me in the ass.
Right.
Two, it just feels like it's not me or not me anymore. It's almost like almost ashamed.
Yeah.
But that darkness went away from me when I finally just like walked back in the gym.
Yeah.
Like, so it was like, I was almost lost and started training again. And immediately I shed all the negative friends. Well, started. I didn't get all of them gone, but the big ones.
It's a process.
Yeah. And I'm sorry to hear that you saw that, because
it was tough. But like you said, it was in that moment, it was like, I didn't even cry because you felt like you couldn't.
Yeah.
You had to be strong for everyone else.
That and you just, for me, I felt like I can't show weakness.
Right.
I'm not in a spot to show weakness to people.
Right.
So like that, I'm glad to hear that, and that you're able to pull, and anyone listening, it can be as quick as like it's right around the corner.
Right.
I've mentioned this a lot to a lot of my friends. Is the audio still good? Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Or not a lot of my friends. I mentioned this other thing, the warrior in the garden. See, I looked for these quotes and these signs myself.
Yeah.
So me not being super religious, I feel like we're relating here because I find like similar inspiration.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm like against any of this. I'm just letting you know, like, I'm not one of those people who has fully, I guess you said, submitted. And we'll get into the ego part. That's down the line here.
Yeah.
But there's like this picture I always remember, and it's like there's two tunnels, and and there's a miner in this tunnel, and he's turned around leaving the tunnel.
I've seen this.
And there's a big gem like within feet.
Yeah.
And then there's another miner, and he's got all little tiny gems,
Yeah.
and he's just like a little bit further.
Mm-hmm.
But had that guy just given it a little bit more time,
Yeah.
he would have had the big payout.
Absolutely right.
And that's what I try to remember when it comes like stuff like you're saying, like it whether you feel like it can or it can't. And I'm just touching on this because I don't know, it triggered kind of like a personal thing. Like I just hope people hang on just a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Because it can change fast and quick.
In a moment. That's the thing, is you don't lose until you quit.
That's 100%
You don't
right.
lose until you quit.
That actually is a good segue into the warrior in the garden.
Yeah.
Is violence always bad?
Absolutely not. There are times where we need to defend what's good and what's right. As
Mhm.
men, we have families to protect. We have communities to protect against darkness, against evil. You know, the most dangerous man is not always the strongest. It's sometimes the one with the least morals. And that's what we need to protect against.
Yeah. Is it so you're saying there's times to be violent even as a peaceful?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
To defend your family? Absolutely. Absolutely. Without a shadow of a doubt. We have been called, yes, to follow Christ, to be at peace, to make amends, to forgive. But sometimes people do horrendous things
Mm-hmm.
that should not be allowed to continue. Like if someone tries to break into my home to get to my kids or my wife, I will use violence to protect them. Why? Because that's my role as a man, as a husband, as a father, right?
Yeah.
What kind of husband or father would I be to just allow some person to hurt my kids? You know,
Mm-hmm.
that would be worse.
So like a modern day crusader?
I in a sense, the Crusades are messy. So, but in a sense, you're not going out and like promoting violence, but if it comes to you,
Mhm.
you should be prepared to use it.
How is peace achievable?
So that's exactly right. There's only peace in a society when you can have boundaries and rules and safe place.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, there are people who they don't want to live in peace. And that's why we need to create these safe places like our homes and our communities and prevent those people from coming in and ruining the peace, if that makes sense. Now, they're not irredeemable. I was a bad person.
Right.
You know, you said you've got things in your past that you regret, but there's still redemption, but you don't need to allow them to wreak havoc and cause harm and hurt the innocent. You can protect them, you can separate them, whatever that looks like. So,
It's funny because like you walk into, and this isn't another dig, but you walk into a church and you kind of just assume, oh, they're so peaceful and weak.
yeah,
But you said, I think we were recording, you said a lot of the people you know
yeah,
are like some of the strongest people you know.
absolutely. You know, I think of our safety team at the church. We've got ex-Green Berets, ex-Navy SEALs, ex-law enforcement, who all are there to keep us safe.
Mm-hmm.
Because in a world like this, where there are crazy people out there that want to do harm to innocent people, we need to protect ourselves.
So how would like, say you got a community and it's peaceful and it's safe, or you're keeping it peaceful and safe.
Yeah.
And you let a little bit of, you know, darkness or bad or evil in.
Mm-hmm.
What is the solution? Is it like a scale, or is there a boundary
You
to
know,
where,
not to sound cliche, but I believe the solution is always Jesus. And we're living in this time right now where we're waiting on his return. At least that's what I believe. And I think we're getting closer to it. But until he comes back to set up his kingdom here, there will always be darkness. There will always be, even in ourselves. So say in this hypothetical, you've got a community that's peaceful, you know, women, children, you know, fathers, husbands taking care. And then you have an outsider come in who seems peaceful. And then all of a sudden they're wreaking havoc. They're hurting the kids. They're manipulating. Then the peaceful ones who actually are doing the right thing can come together and say, hey, this is an issue. We can't allow this person to come in here and hurt our kids and hurt our family. Let's remove them. Not, you know, kill them, not like get rid of them, but remove them to protect our community, protect the peace.
So you remove them, but they're always out there. So they're always a threat.
Exactly. And that's why I say we'll never have perfect peace until the Prince of Peace returns.
Mm-hmm.
Because at that point, he's going to set up his kingdom here on earth just as it is in heaven, and we will have that peace.
With that being said, and educate me on this a little bit if you don't
Yeah,
mind.
of course.
You called him the Prince of Peace.
Yep.
Right? Were things peaceful when Jesus was here?
Absolutely not. He came into a broken, horrible world. The Israelites were basically overtaken by the Roman Empire at that point. They hated them. They hated each other. There was always fights and wars, and they thought Jesus was coming to set up his kingdom because there has been this Messiah that had been prophesied for hundreds of years. Isaiah writes of this Messiah who would suffer and die, be pierced for our transgressions, crushed for our iniquities, 600 years before Jesus ever came. But the way they read that, they think, okay, this guy's going to come and he's going to be a military king. He's going to kick out the Romans. He's going to set us free, and we're going to be free once more. But that's not what he came to do. See, Jesus came to set up an eternal kingdom that would last forever. That wasn't just in one place in time or for one people group, but to all people, to what they would call Gentiles, the people who aren't Jewish. It wasn't just about an ethnic group. It was about the entire world. And he's going to return one day coming on the clouds, and that's when he can set up his kingdom as he intended to do.
So what happened? Did it become peaceful? Was it ever peaceful?
No, it still hasn't. It still hasn't been peaceful.
So it's things have kind of steadily.
Yeah, I think there are seasons where things feel good and when they don't, but at the end of the day, he didn't come to give us a peaceful life now. He came to give us a peaceful life in eternity.
So you said your faith gave you more discipline, and that's what allowed you to jiu-jitsu.
Absolutely.
Did you still get anything out of the gym?
Oh, yeah. I mean, jiu-jitsu itself I recommend everyone to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing it for years, and I've been talking to my wife about getting in to do it. And I eventually convinced her after 2 years, and
hell yeah,
she started training with me. She's got her green belt. So, but yeah, it's beneficial because it gives you an outlet. I think it's like an analogy for life a lot of the times, because in jiu-jitsu, as you know, you're put in situations that you don't want to be in.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And it's not about, flailing around and being frantic that's going to get you out. It's about being calm under pressure, making the next right decision, and then fighting your way out. And I think for life, that's true.
Yeah.
We're going to have issues. We're going to have trials. We're going to have troubles. But it's not about just freaking out and going crazy. And it's about, what's the next right thing? What can I do right now?
Yeah.
So for me, that's how I think of it, really. It gives me a training ground to do that in real life.
I think that's really well said, because whether you're competing or not, by the way, I think we would compete at the same tournament.
Did we really?
I was talking to Brittany the other night. I think you did like a new breed and got double gold.
Yeah.
I think that's the day I won like the belt.
Okay. I saw the picture on Instagram.
Did you?
Yeah, that was
the same day.
Really?
I don't know.
It might have been. It was at USF.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got one gold medal. I only did the gi that day. But that was my second tournament that I fought in. The first tournament I ever fought in, I sprained my ankle, but like really bad. And the horrible thing about that is I was going against my own teammate.
Oh no.
2 white belts.
That's how it goes, man.
We're there. We're rolling. He's a high school wrestler. I'm just a jiu-jitsu guy. And I'm feeling confident. I'm like, I beat this guy in the gym all the time. And we get into the fight. I get a triangle, almost fully locked up. My foot is almost cinched. And he drops, and it just snapped this ligament. And I heard the pop, and I kept trying to fight, but I couldn't flex my...
I felt that tension before.
Oh, man. Yeah. So...
Switch to the armbar.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's what I should have done. But being a white belt, I didn't even have a coach there. I'm just like...
You're just rolling with it.
Yeah. But after that tournament, I had to take time off. I had like 12 weeks. I was in a boot, couldn't train. And then a few months later, I came back to that new breed, and that was kind of like a redemption because I won it on a triangle.
Oh, really?
Kind of like, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was a cool moment.
I love it when a good plan comes together.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's the only plan I have. So,
is there like speaking of that and, peace and all that, is there like a line in your head? Because some people go into tournaments like trying to hurt people.
Yeah.
But you kind of got to hurt people to win the tournament.
You do.
So do you draw the line anywhere? Is there like any kind of moral ground there, or
There's a line. I mean, you know when you're just being
too much?
too much.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know where the line is exactly, but I think we all know it.
I think that's part of my responsibility as a black belt is like people come at me trying to like kill me now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, part of me is like, I got to keep this role safe.
Yeah.
You know, these people are spazzing, grabbing stuff, yanking, and I could do it back, but I like, I kind of feel like sometimes I have the responsibility in the role to just kind of
Yeah.
calm it down, keep it moving.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you could hurt somebody if
Yeah.
you really wanted to. They don't always realize that, but
Yeah. You let someone win once and then now they're like,
all they're like,
they start talking all that
"Oh my
crap. So you got to
gosh,
be
it's
like,
so stupid."
is there a spiritual lesson of being like humbled and beat up?
Gosh, man. Yes, that's one of the best things about jiu-jitsu is it humbles you.
It does.
Because growing up, I thought I was big and bad in street fights. Oh, I know how to fight. You don't know how to fight, bro. I didn't know how to fight. As soon as I got into that first class, I'm being, tossed around. I realized I'm helpless. But that's what drew me to it even more. It's like, I need to learn this.
Mhm.
How is this guy half my size, like, throwing me around? And it humbled me to where I could actually grow. You
Yeah.
know, and in life, as a Christian, I am not perfect anywhere near it. But I need to acknowledge that, so
Yeah.
that I can grow.
Yeah.
It's the same way.
I agree with you. I think it's like getting your ego in check
Yeah.
and learning how to rebuild it, but reasonably.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And is there like that makes me think, is there like there's gotta be similarities in surrendering faith
Mhm.
and like submitting to
Oh,
like
yeah.
a stronger opponent.
Yeah.
Is that like do you see similarities between the two?
Absolutely.
Or is it two completely different gigs?
No, it's absolutely. You talk about submitting to an opponent, you recognize you are in a situation, whether it's a submission hold or whatever it may be, that you can't get out of. And if you don't submit, something's going to either break or you're going to sleep,
Mhm.
right? In our life, there's a moment where we get to the end of ourself and we think there's nothing I can do right now except submit to the one who gave his life for me.
Mhm.
And it's not a strong arm thing where he makes you submit to him. He'll convince you of his love. The Bible says that it's God's kindness that leads people to repentance. Basically, repentance means to change. It's not his wrath. It's not his anger. It's his kindness. That
Oh.
God, you would be so kind to me that you would send your son to die in my place, even though I know I've done wrong and I've been fighting against you my whole life. You still pursue me. I have to submit to that because I know it to be true and I'm convinced of it. So knowing when to submit is important.
Is there like so what does surrendering to God and Jesus mean?
Honestly, as simple as it sounds, is just telling him, I submit to you. I believe that you came and you died and you rose to life again. And I believe that I've done wrong and I can never earn your love, but I believe that you sent your son to show me your love.
Why is the reward in you submitting like to God? Like
Yeah.
for those who are like, stubborn, too much ego, things that aren't necessarily evil,
Yeah.
but definitely like could hold you back or speed bumps.
Yeah.
Why is the reward after you submit?
Yeah. I think every mistake, every wrong, everything in this life that we want to protect against, it starts with pride. It starts with someone thinking they deserve something that they don't have, so they steal it, or thinking they deserve someone, so they take it. But when you can get to the end of yourself and say, I'm done with this ego. I'm done with this pride. I don't have it all together. But God, if you do, then I'm going to give my life to you. I think it brings you to the end of yourself. And until you can get to the end of yourself, it's hard to submit. And it's okay to get to the end of yourself because, like we said, that's when you can actually grow.
Right. Is like so is that where the ego check is kind of like tapping? Like where you're kind of
Absolutely.
like at the dead end
Yeah.
and it's like keep fighting, make it worse or give in.
Yeah.
That's so what about people who are there people who fake it?
Oh, absolutely.
Do
Absolutely.
they get the same reward?
They don't.
No?
Jesus tells a parable about a man who goes out to sow seed in his farm. And He goes out, he plants this good, it's wheat, grain. And then an enemy sneaks in and sows a bunch of weeds that choke out the grain. And the servant goes to the master and is like, hey, master, like, should I pull out these weeds so that the grain can grow? He's like, no, because if you pull out the weeds, you're going to yank out some of the grain too. Wait for them to grow up together. And at the end of the age, I'm going to send my angels to harvest, to separate the wheat from the chaff, the wheat from the wheat. And there are people in church who do not love Jesus. Like, if you have the expectation that you're going to go to a church somewhere and they're all going to be genuine followers of Christ, you're wrong. Because there are wolves in sheep's clothing. There are false prophets. The Bible warns, Jesus warns us about it. But he's not going to uproot them right away. He may some, but at the end of the age, we will all have to stand before him and give an account. And it's not based on, well, the best Christians are going to be saved. No, it's the ones who actually surrendered, who actually said, God, I don't have it all figured out. I've come to the end of my ego. If you can save me, please help me.
Does surrendering mean you still have free will?
Absolutely.
Or is it, so are you surrendering your will to them, or are you, I guess, like, let's dive deeper into like the surrendering part.
Yeah.
Because that's like probably, in my opinion, one of the biggest tipping points, right? Like that's got to be about where you're like, all right, I'm diving in. Like,
Yeah.
I'm committed, right? So surrendering your ego, I don't know, keep me in check here.
Yeah.
So is it more of like an ego thing?
It's surrendering your ego,
Mhm.
acknowledging that you made mistakes, acknowledging that you can't save yourself, that you need his help. And then from there, you still have free will. You still have agency. I still sin every day, and I ask him to forgive me, and I turn from it, and I look for ways to prevent myself from the future. But as a new Christian, I mean, I still mess up all the time. I'd come home from a party thinking, oh, I'm just going to hang out. And then I end up doing things I don't want to do. And then but I feel conviction for the first time. Before, I never felt bad about it. I felt like, oh, I did something wrong. I sinned against the holy God who gave his life for me. And not a condemnation where I felt like he was mad at me, but I just felt like I let him down.
So it's kind of like holding yourself to a higher standard. Or would you say God's standard?
I think God holds us to his standard.
Okay.
Any good thing we can do as a follower of Christ is because he's empowered us to do it. It's his spirit that literally the Bible says it gives us the power and the desire to do what pleases God.
Okay.
It's not because I'm a good person that I follow God. It's because he's given me his spirit that changes my heart, changes my desires to do what pleases him. I can take no accountability for it, except that I say, yes, use me.
Oh, this is a good one. So my professor, and it's a good point, he's like, I can learn a lot about a person when we roll.
Yeah.
Like the way the person rolls,
Yeah.
the way the person deals with being put in spots they don't want to be put in, pressure. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Like you're in a situation where you're physically strained, mentally strained, there's pressure, you're held somewhere against your will.
Yeah.
And you can see how people react and what type of person they are.
Big time.
Do you see that with people in church?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. You can like kind of read and
you can see. So I counsel a lot of people. I'm not a counselor, but I do, biblical counseling, just kind of walk them through things. We have certified counselors that we refer people to once we hit a certain point. But you can see when things go wrong in people's life, you can see where their faith is at. And we're all in different places. It's not a judgmental thing. But you can really see, is this person like ready to give up on God entirely because of something they're going through? Or are they saying, you know what, God, help me to be faithful even in the storm? And as a pastor, my job is to help people in situations like that, to encourage them, be like, you're going to get through this. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. This is not how it's always going to be. So yeah, you can definitely see when they go through something where their faith is really at.
Is there like a little bit of the same kind of pressure maybe? Or is it?
For sure.
Because it's weird, because it's like, I know we're like hitting this ego thing, but it's like, it's big. It's big for someone to like let go of how macho they think they are, or how in control, or, it's kind of asking a lot to be like, hey, surrender yourself, surrender.
Yeah.
So I got to imagine that like, there's got to be a good way to gauge it, right?
I think at the end of the day, God doesn't call us to gauge other people's faith. What's great about him is he actually, the word says that he chases us. He pursues us with his love. He's the one who draws people to himself. It's not anything that I can say that's going to convince someone to surrender their life to Christ.
Mm-hmm.
It's because the Holy Spirit loves them enough to reveal that to them, to draw them to him, to get them to a point to surrender. Because like you said, it's not in our human nature.
Mm-hmm.
We want what we want.
Right.
How does someone who wants what they want surrender to someone that they can't even see?
Right. I guess that's a huge part of the struggle, right?
Yeah.
Like and that's where I hear a lot is faith. That's the faith part, right?
Yeah.
So you're taking like a huge, I don't want to say risk, but I guess cliche leap of faith.
Yeah,
So it might take a lot of people longer to get to that point.
for sure. And, Jesus says, if you seek the truth, you will find it. Knock and the door will be open to you. Ask and you will receive. Seek and you will find. And I think if people want to know the truth and they're actively seeking, asking, and knocking, they're going to find him every time. Not always in a year, not always in 2 years or 10 years or 15 years. But if you are genuinely seeking the truth, I think you're going to find him every single time. And faith is not just a blind faith. Faith is believing in something that is trustworthy, believing in something that has stood the test of time. I mean, how long have people been following Christ? Thousands of years now. You look at the evidence for his resurrection. You look at the evidence that he existed. You look at the fact that we're still talking about a poor man who had no money. He wasn't a king. And we are still talking about what he did. And 400 people saw him alive after everyone saw him killed. So there's a lot of evidence in the natural, but regardless, I think it's a supernatural thing that happens when someone comes to Christ,
Yeah.
that he reveals it to them.
What kind of evidence?
So you look at the accounts of Jesus's life.
Mhm.
There are Greek accounts and there are Jewish accounts, which were the main ones at that time, that he was real. And so even the strongest atheists, they don't really combat the fact that he existed.
Mhm.
They'll say, yeah, there's a lot of evidence. If we can know anyone
Really?
existed,
So a lot of atheists will,
agree that Jesus existed.
doesn't that contradict it?
So they would say he existed, but he wasn't God.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I believe he was God. Now, there's a difference, because if someone prophesies, says that they're going to die and then they raise to life again, it means what they were saying was true. I believe that what he was saying was true. Their defense would be, well, there's not enough evidence for the resurrection, which I think there's a lot more than they like to admit.
Mhm.
And I think it's true, but I believe at the end of the day, God is the one who reveals that to people in their spirit. We can't take, I can't say, oh, I figured it out. I'm smart enough to figure out that Jesus actually rose to life again. No, after reading his word, I'm convinced.
Yeah. And you're also playing like the telephone game for thousands of years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So-
you are.
So that's a lot of faith too.
Absolutely. But if we can trust anything in history, which I know there's a lot of fake history. Right. I know there's a lot of things that have been scrubbed from the history books, but I also think there are some things that have been, if you look at, why would his 12 disciples, why would they all give their life for him, like literally be killed, crucified themselves, beheaded, if they didn't see him alive after they saw him die? I mean, that's insane. And then for thousands of years, Christians were persecuted. At least hundreds of years after he rose to life, persecuted hard. King Nero, literally setting them on fire in his garden, and they still professed their faith in Christ because they saw him. It's like, to me, that's a lot of evidence.
Yeah. Okay. No, I was just curious because,
Yeah.
like I said, I'm putting you to the test.
Yeah, man.
And
And I don't have all the answers, but I just,
Right.
from a
No.
personal experience.
I'm a little bit of a newbie here.
Yeah.
Do you well, getting into like the fear and violence and protection, like kind of like I don't know if it's necessarily like the men of the household, but like, do you think that you think men should obviously know how to protect people, right?
Absolutely.
And if it comes down to it, is like, it could be as simple as just like keeping bad stuff at a distance
Mhm.
or dealing with it. It like, where's like the line of like you know, because obviously your first choice probably isn't violence and inflicting pain or damage.
Right.
If it came down to like having to eliminate a threat, where's the line?
You know, I think God has given the governing authorities the permission to protect us, even if
Mhm.
that means going out and protecting us from things that aren't right at our door, but maybe in the future. I think there's definitely space for that.
Yeah.
Now, am I necessarily going to go, and find every evil person and seek them out to, find a way to put them in jail? I don't believe that's my calling, but I know that what I can do is protect from what's here. And if anything comes against my family, I know it's my responsibility to protect. But I trust, other men and women who are strong and capable to go out and pursue the darkness and defend us from it.
What's your perspective on that? So like say, and I know this is gonna be extremely hypothetical,
Yeah.
but say you got land over here, way
Yeah.
over here,
Yeah.
land over here, way over here. This person, this land thinks that land's evil. This
Mhm.
land thinks that land's evil.
Yeah.
If no one went out and tried to eliminate the evil,
Yeah.
they would just coexist
Yeah.
and not like each other.
Right.
But it's like throwing the first stone
Yeah.
starts
Don't throw the stone.
just, you think that you could coexist?
I don't think as human beings, we've proven we can't, unfortunately.
I know, right?
Unfortunately, we've proven we cannot, because throughout history, I mean, wars have been started over just pride and ego.
Mm-hmm.
Just the simple fact that I want what you have,
Right.
or I feel like I'm better than you in some way.
Or
And
that's
I
mine.
wish, or that's my, and I wish I could say, I think we can coexist peacefully, but I haven't seen it. I think the only one that can bring it is Jesus. I really do.
Does that tie into like good and evil can't coexist? Pretty deep.
They would
huh?
have to be separated.
Yeah.
They
Like,
would have to be separated.
so now we're getting a segregation.
Yeah. But evil is subjective, right?
Right.
There's a,
Yeah.
what someone thinks is evil is not necessarily evil. And that's why I would rely on God's definition of good and evil and not mine. That's in one place in time, but he is eternal outside of time, can see all things. And I trust in his judgment over mine. So I think these are things that he knows the answer to.
And you already touched on peaceful men should know how to fight,
Oh yeah.
right? And protect. Can martial arts actually make people less violent?
Oh yeah.
I think so too.
Absolutely. So the thing with jiu-jitsu is when you know how to fight and you've been in fights in the gym and in competitions, you know how much you don't want to get in a fight in the street. You know how much can go wrong,
Mm-hmm.
even if you do everything right. So it keeps you more controlled. I think I have better control over my emotions now, knowing how to train what little I do, as opposed to, the hot-headed teenager who thinks that they're bad and has all this pride and ego. Like, that's the dangerous one. It's not the man who actually knows how to fight. Do I know I can fight? Yeah, if it came down to it. I'm not looking for it
Right.
because I know what that's like.
It tends to like, it's funny because, we see a lot of people who are like, oh man, especially in the MMA gym. It's like every other dude who walked in there is like, I'm a good street fighter. Oh man, I'm undefeated in the streets. And you're like, all right. And then it kind of filters them out.
Yeah.
It's like they either stick with it, and there's something about like when I started training, it's like I got it out of my system.
Yeah.
Like I need it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I don't do it, then I do start getting angry.
Absolutely.
And I do start like feeling the glass full. The glass starts filling up, like trickling. But like when I get to go train and I get that out of my system, sometimes I get pissed off at my teammates and I'm like, I'm coming in there and I'm gonna work it out today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, I walk in the gym like, oh, okay, what'd he say?
Mm-hmm.
All right, man, you just tipped the glass over.
Yeah.
And then, but like we all kind of do it to each other.
Yeah.
And granted, like I'm not like putting them in the hospital or injuring them, but
Right.
like I'll get like a little bit more of a brutal round in.
Yeah.
But I agree. I think getting that out of your system and knowing where you actually stack up
Mm-hmm.
can like humble you.
Oh yeah.
It's a good check. Like for instance, Brittany's brother's in town right now.
Mm.
I brought him like a year or two ago into the gym, and he was all for it. He wrestled a little bit.
Okay, cool.
And we were just talking about this last night, actually. in his defense, he drank the night before, but he came in like an open mat,
Okay.
and he went at it with some people, man, and he did pretty good against a blue belt. Like
Really?
being brand new, he's beating this like blue belts.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel weird cursing in the church. I'm like really trying to
You're
keep
fine,
myself
dude. You're
under
fine.
control here.
Doesn't
I
affect
told
me at
Brittany
all.
that too on my way here. I was like, man, I'm gonna have to really concentrate.
Yeah,
But
it's not a big deal at all.
I'm trying to get better at it anyway.
Yeah.
Especially with the kids and stuff.
Yeah.
Because they're parrots. But
It's crazy. Yeah.
he came in, and I brought a few friends in there too who haven't trained before, and it's like we train and then they can't touch you,
Mm-hmm.
and then they realize like, oh man, like I
Yeah.
there's nothing, like you said earlier, there's nothing I can do against this person.
Yeah.
Like, they're just somehow one step ahead and stronger and better.
Yep.
And it's a humbling thing. But if everyone trained and knew where they stacked up, I feel like it would give everyone like a little bit more of a
No, man.
of like
I wish it was like required in schools or something, like
right, like
Jiu-Jitsu, judo, boxing, something where you can actually, like you say, realistically understand where you stand,
right.
what you're capable of.
And we're talking a lot about being like physically strong, but it's also emotionally.
Oh yeah,
So I think that's what I'm like kind of tapping in, is like it kind of keeps your emotions in check.
it does.
Cause like I don't, you probably had similar experience, but you go out downtown or like bar hopping.
Yep.
And you always get that guy who around 3 a.m., 2:30, 2 o'clock starts getting big chested, and
Mhm.
the badass comes out. And then you're like,
Mhm.
I would easily, this is before training, but you're like, no, you won't stack up. And like you said, it's like
Yeah.
more dangerous than they realize.
Yeah.
They just think it's like, oh, we're going to swing at each other. I mean, how many videos have you seen where someone's down and they're still
Stomping
and
on them.
you're like, man, that could easily be brain damage.
Yeah.
Like you can easily, over some stupid disagreement at the bar,
It's foolish.
you could really alter someone's life and yours.
Yeah.
So
And their kids. Yeah.
yeah, or their kids or like
Yeah.
that. And is it all worth that over you guys just being in the same place at the same time?
So stupid.
So I just think like getting the grip on like, especially like, and I don't know if if you've been down this line, but you've had good injuries like your leg.
Yeah.
Do you really want to do that to somebody?
No.
That just like, maybe if someone deserves it, or like someone is like, coming in your house
Yeah.
or you got to protect,
Right.
it's like, all right, I know how bad that sucks.
Yeah.
That's going to put you down, but
For a while.
right.
Yeah.
But like when you get choked or you get a headache or
Yeah.
like some sort of injury, it's like, kind of think like, man, I don't really want to do that to just some random person. Right?
Yeah.
So big circle, it could make people less violent, right?
For sure. For sure.
Is there a difference between violence and controlled force?
Yeah.
Like you're going into class, you're controlling yourself,
Yeah.
or you're like disciplining your child.
Yeah.
Is there a difference between like maybe spanking or grabbing the hand
Yeah.
or training? Is there a difference in your head between like that being violent or just a controlled show of force?
Yeah. I think with training, it should always be controlled, because at the end of the day, we train to get better. And you don't always get better when you're just trying to hurt somebody or trying to get your anger out.
Mhm.
When you get better is when you can think clearly through your moves, have a clear and level head, drill, remember things that worked. So I think the entire thing about jiu-jitsu is it's an art form, and it's controlled violence. It's not just frantic violence. And that's what I think sets it apart, and what
Yeah.
I love about it.
Yeah.
Because it's not just in the gym. It actually helps you in everyday life to control your emotions and not be frantic. And yeah.
Yeah. Like calm under pressure. I
Yeah.
mean, think about like the first time you went in the gym, how exhausted you were.
Yeah.
And then eventually you just start learning how to operate while being exhausted.
Yeah.
Like, especially in competition.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That dump.
I'm still trying to control it, man. It's that adrenaline dump still gets me every time. I should compete more, I think.
It gets better as you do it.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of jiu-jitsu competition. I wish it was like a little bit more, I don't know. I like competing, but I just don't like the point system and like
Yeah.
one match this wins, the next match this wins. It just depends on your ref. So like,
Yeah.
I like just like seeking out new people to roll with.
Yeah.
That's been kind of how I've been just finding new people, and getting new looks.
Yeah.
But you get in a competition, handling that pressure. Is there like ego with wanting to win? Going back to like talking about the ego and
That's
stuff.
a good question. I think there can definitely be, we want to win because we want to show that we put the time and effort in.
Right.
No one wants to go to a competition to lose, but do you want to win just so you look good on social media?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, right? Or is the main reason you want to win is, to make your team proud and to, make your professor proud and to show your skill that you've learned. It's like a personal benchmark. I think you can have goals and have personal benchmarks that you want to beat. But if it's just for people to look at you and be like, oh man, that guy's a beast. Look, he's got all these gold medals. I think it can get into an unhealthy place because you're not going to always win.
That ties in with vain.
It could be vain. Yeah. Not that it always is, but
Right.
it could easily slip into being that,
So if I'm going into a competition to test myself,
Yeah.
is that ego?
No.
No?
To test yourself, no. If it's just to say, look at me, I'm the best, I'm the baddest, I think it could be.
Yeah. If it's just like, where's the line?
Yeah. I don't know. I think
keep
it just
asking
depends
this
on
to
the
you.
person, man.
Yeah.
That's the thing is like, I think at our core, we know when it's starting to get somewhere where it shouldn't.
I'm trying to ask a holy man all the answers
Yeah,
today.
I'm like, I don't know.
Have you ever prayed before rolling or competing?
Oh yeah, I pray every time.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'll listen to worship music before I compete.
Really?
It relaxes me. Yeah, I'm not one of those guys that gets really hyped up. I'll get a warm up going,
Okay.
but I like to be in that, I guess they call it the flow state.
Yeah.
I like to be in that state.
Oh, that makes sense. Like drop your heart rate down.
Yeah, I like
know.
to get calm down, drop my heart rate, because I don't want to go through that adrenaline dump where
Dude, that's gotta be the first time I heard that.
Really?
Yeah. Worship music?
Worship music, man. That's what I listen to.
I put on heavy gangster rap.
Do you?
Yeah.
So when I used to work out, that's what I would listen to too.
Gets me in the mood.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, all right, time to get savage.
Yeah.
You're over here like, what kind of worship?
I think it depends on the type of competitor you are too. And not that I know exactly what I am, but I will say I'm more of a defensive fighter. I like to counter attack more than being on the offensive, which
that's how I am striking too.
Okay. So yeah, so you understand.
Clip that. But no, like, and that makes sense. Like, I've just never, that's kind of funny. Like, I didn't expect you to say that.
Yeah.
That was actually going to be one of my questions. Like, what's your, what gets you going?
Yeah.
But that does make sense if you're like trying to lower so I'm generally just like kind of like a calm, like monotone, low demeanor guy.
Yeah.
So I think that like, but when I compete, I get like, as soon as my foot touches the mat, and I know this sounds really cliche, but like I keep my nerves down and keep myself together, but it's like as soon as my nerves touch the mat, something in me is like, all right, let's have some fun.
Yeah.
And sometimes I compete and it's like, I'm here to destroy and I'm here to run through it and prove a point.
Yeah.
Sometimes I compete and I'm like, all right, let's just have fun, but like, let's just win while doing it.
Yeah.
But so I think like, I put on the headphones, I run, I get sweating. Yeah. I listen to a little bit of gangster rap and it kind of like just puts me in whatever zone to get through the next hour or so.
Yeah. For me, before competition, my heart rate's up. I'm already, I don't really know what to expect. I've only done, I think 4. So I'm pretty new to it.
It's not bad though.
It's not, yeah.
That's enough experience.
It's enough. But I already have that higher heart rate. So I'm trying to calm myself down. I'm trying to be
What are you telling yourself?
Focused. I tell myself I'm going to win. I never think I'm going to lose. Even if I at first thought I was going to lose, I always go in confident I'm going to win. But really, it's just stick to my game, know what I'm here to do. I know what I'm doing. Focus. Don't worry about doing too much. Just I'm kind of calming myself down, if that makes sense.
What are you telling? Like when you pray, what do you say?
Just for protection. I don't pray, to win. I don't pray to like, make me look real. I'm just like, God, protect me, protect my body, let this just
hold my
go
kids
well.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, I want to survive this.
If we're talking about that same tournament, if we were there, the one that at Purple Belt, that's when Emery was like my daughter. She was like 1 or 2, I think 2. And I remember my mindset for that was like, win for her. She's like, here, we brought her to that gym. It was hot as heck. We had her in like one of those little like Jeep like carts.
Yeah.
And I remember I was like, I gotta win for her. She's here. My daughter's here. And I think it was the same at Pans.
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta win. She's here. and pans is unfortunate, but like that's
Which pans was it?
it was when I first got my brown belt. It was like 2 or 3 years ago. I didn't do this one because I got promoted to black belt, so I was gonna come back this year
Yeah.
and try to win.
Yeah.
And I think the guy that beat me 2 years ago was the one who won it.
Oh, really?
And I'll stand on my. I don't think he would have beat me. That if it wasn't it was this funny thing, and maybe I'll put it in here in editing. But like, the dude shot in on me while I was tying my belt. There's a confusion. We were like pushed out of bounds. I heard a yell. I thought it was the ref because you know they don't speak English.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
it's
they
like,
don't. Yeah.
So I thought we had to reset.
Yeah.
As we're resetting, my belt's falling off. So I'm like, I don't want to start like getting into it and spending energy and starting setting stuff up
Yeah.
when he's just gonna call it and make me tie my belt anyway.
Right.
So to kill two birds with one stone, I looked at the ref and I said, "Can I tie my belt?" And
Yeah.
he wasn't paying attention, and I'm asking him like, "Am I tying my belt?" And as I was doing that, I guess his corner noticed the time was still going and it wasn't like a stop.
Yeah.
So they told him to shoot. So he shot in on me, got me down, and then that was like 2 points right there. And then he went to straight like I guess it's a neon belly. It wasn't to me. It wasn't really a neon belly. But
Yeah.
he was talking to me while he's like, "I'm sorry, bro,"
Oh
and
my
laughing.
gosh.
I was just like, I guess we're both here to win. I can't be mad.
Yeah.
I can't be mad at you,
It
but
sucks though.
I didn't feel. I mean, in all honesty, like I'm glad because I've seen that dude competing a lot, and I've seen him. He seems like he's really, really. It's important to him.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
yeah, I mean, I would love to go against him again and see
I
where
think
we're
I
at.
competed at that same pans
Oh yeah,
as a blue belt. That was my first competition as a blue belt.
really?
Yeah, it was about 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah. So I didn't do this one. I didn't do the one before that. So it was like three pans ago
It's
now.
probably that then. Yeah,
How'd it
before
go?
my kids were born. It was crazy. I had just got my blue belt like a couple months before. What month is pans? Do you
Usually
know?
March.
Okay, so I got my blue belt in October
Okay.
and I was already gonna compete in pans, so I'm like going in with no expectations. I'm like,
That's good.
there's like 70 dudes in my bracket. You know, I'm
I
like,
know,
I'm just
it's
gonna
like-
figure this out. And I'm winning my first 3 matches. So I'm like, at this point, I'm competing
nice.
to get to like third. And I ended up losing that 4th match just because I was just gassed and exhausted.
It's so crazy that like you gotta win 4
Yeah.
just to get the podium.
Yeah, man.
But then there's other divisions where you just show up and you get the podium.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
I think that pans I had 16, so I had like a perfect
Oh, that's nice.
bracket, and I think had I beat that guy, I was gonna go against number 2 or number 1 seed,
Yeah.
and that's where I like going through the higher seeds first,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're all tired.
That was my first IBJJF tournament. So
Yeah.
I was the lowest seed. So like my first few fights were against the top guys. Like I beat the guy and then the second guy had a bye and
That's like the benefit to me is like
Yeah.
you can take out a higher seed first.
Yeah.
And you could be the upset because if you think about it, like just because you're a low seed doesn't mean that you suck.
right. It just
means
you
you
didn't compete in
don't
that.
have the points.
Yeah.
So like that happened to me in Fort Lauderdale. I went against number 1, and that was shortly after. I think that pans was March. I think I competed again in like November
Okay.
and did Fort Lauderdale, and the first guy I went against was the number 1 seed. So he told me afterwards. He's like, "Oh, it's like I've never been tapped. And
Yeah.
I think he underestimated a little bit.
Yeah.
And was so used to his game working
Mm-hmm.
that he wasn't used to someone who like came in that he's never heard of.
Right. Yeah. There was no footage of him look at like
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
There's like it's like that's one of the scariest things too, walking in there not knowing
Mm-hmm.
like that. So it's like you don't know what problems you're getting thrown.
Yeah.
So you guys are literally who can solve the problem fastest.
Yeah.
Or who can impose.
That's what's so awesome about jiu-jitsu, man.
I know
It's
there's
fresh every time.
It is, and that's like seeking out new people, like going to other gyms, cross training.
Mm-hmm.
I really like if I hear there's like some good competitor, some good guy coming through a gym, I like to try to get there.
Oh,
and-
yeah.
and just to get a roll in.
Yeah, for sure.
Does the pressure reveal who you are or create who you are?
Mm. I think both can be true. I think at first pressure reveals who you are,
Uh-huh.
and then what you do with that pressure, I think then creates
Builds.
who you are. Yeah, because I remember being under pressure as a new competitor, and I didn't handle it well. I'd freak out. I didn't know what to do.
Mhm.
But then being back in there again, I'm like, okay, I know what this was like before. I'm not going to do that. And it created a new part of me that can be calm,
That's awesome.
So
So do you think you can learn mental toughness?
I think so. I think jujitsu's taught me so much mental toughness more than anything else I've done. Is being in situations that are horrible, that you don't know what to do, how to get out, and being able to just at least breathe
Mm-hmm.
and focus as best you can.
Especially as a blue belt.
Yeah, as a blue belt, I mean, I'm in bad situations a lot.
Yeah.
So
You're in like the survival state.
yeah, man.
Man, so do men need a tribe?
Absolutely,
Like
we
we're
do.
talking about church, jiu-jitsu, or
Mhm.
other communities or other hardships. Do we need a tribe?
I think we need at least. We don't need a big tribe. We don't need a lot of friends, but I think we need at least someone,
Yeah.
one or two guys at least.
Yeah.
Not to always keep going back to the Bible, but I believe this to be true. In Proverbs, it says, "As iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another."
Mm-hmm.
Because two can stand back to back and
It's like
fight.
it's like the classic like having a rival,
Yeah,
like Pokemon,
yeah.
Goku, Vegeta.
Let's go.
Just
Yeah,
without the other two,
yeah. Competition. You make each other better.
Ash and Gary.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's like it's funny because like growing up or watching anime or those cartoons, it's like every protagonist has an
Mhm.
antagonist that keeps him sharp. It's funny, and he'll know because he's watching this. But I've just been talking to a buddy who's been in. I've been trying to figure out like what kind of business or what I want to get into, and
Yeah,
that's been like kind of my thing for the past few years. My struggle is figuring out where I'm going.
yeah.
And I had a buddy approach me with some of these projects I've been trying to figure out on my
Mm,
own. And he reached out. He's like, I want to help. He's been doing it for years.
nice,
Does well with it. And he's giving me access to all these free tools. He's a big church guy too.
nice.
Yeah. Actually, he just said last night, he's like, let me know if you need a filler. I'll
Let's
hop in.
go.
So I'm trying to, so I'll probably bring him in there.
That'd be awesome.
He actually said, and what like kind of hooked me, because at first I was like skeptical. I'm like, no one gives me all this free stuff.
Yeah,
I've been begging
yeah,
people, like going out of my character and begging for partnerships or help or someone to maybe help boost me up to the next level or barter a way to
yeah,
like, how can I give you value? You give me a little bit of value, get me on my feet or get me like some momentum.
yeah,
And he was just like no strings attached, kind of like throwing this stuff at me. And one of the
yeah.
things he said was like, I'm like, what do you want out of this?
Mm,
And he was just like, he basically said, in a way, it's like, we keep each other sharp.
mm.
You're getting into it. I'm into it.
Come
We
on,
can help each other out and keep,
come on.
and as you learn, and it's very true. Like you and I could be pastors at the same church,
Yeah,
different struggles, different challenges.
yeah,
One day you hit a speed bump or a roadblock and it's like, man, I'm having trouble with this.
yeah,
Oh man, this is how I handle it.
yep,
I've done that a few times already.
yeah.
And it's like, now you're stronger. So it doesn't even have to be like violent or grinding. It could
No,
just simply be like, let me pull you over the little bump.
yeah. Let me bounce an idea off you. What do you think about this? Have you experienced this before?
So that's where tribe comes in handy, huh?
Yeah, I think jujitsu is a great tribe.
Yeah.
I think faith communities, church is a great tribe.
Pickleball.
Pickleball, if that's what you're into,
Gotta get
can
those
be.
keywords in here.
Yeah, right. Where's all the SEO tags?
Yeah. Working on my SEO live
Right.
as we run this. Do you think men need to run the household?
Run the household. I don't think men need to run the household. I think that men should lead the household with the help of their wife and with her input and with her wisdom, because he's gifted us in different ways. They overlap, and depending on the person, there's more or less of each. But as a man, I am the spiritual leader of the household. So I hold my wife accountable. I help her. I pray with her. I pray for her. I pray over her. I don't ask her to do that. It's not her job to make sure that we're, praying together. It's my job to make sure that I'm praying over her. So
Now that she's training, she got to like go get the bad guy bird.
yeah, she's got to help me now. No, I want her to
Tonight's
protect
your
the
night.
kids.
Tonight's
Yeah,
your
right.
shift.
You're on tonight, babe. Go check out that noise.
Yeah.
No, I think my role as a husband is always to be that protector, even
Mhm.
if she knows what she's doing. I think she can help, But at the end of the day, I'm the one that will put my life on the line to protect her, not the other way around.
Can you guys sharpen each other?
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Almost like your own little tribe.
That's it. And that's what marriage does, man, is it'll make you a better person because you're going to learn how to humble yourself in marriage if you want a successful one.
I've got a few more.
Yeah.
And I've got like what people submitted me.
Sweet.
So, you kind of already hit on this. Why do you think some dangerous men become gentle while weak men become cruel?
Yeah, I think
That's actually for me.
yeah. I think weak men realize they're weak and they can't come to terms with it, so they
Lash out.
fight the system, cheat, lie, manipulate, and those are the most dangerous men are weak men, I think.
Is that because they don't have that skill, so they build other skills that they're more capable of?
I think they don't have that skill and they don't know how to build it, so they go the easy way and cheat and find shortcuts and that make it easier, but in the long run a man like you or I would never do something like that.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully, right? God willing, Lord.
Hopefully I
please.
don't break. So, and you said this too, what's more dangerous, an angry weak man or a disciplined dangerous man?
Yeah.
It'd be an angry weak man, huh?
Angry weak men can cause a lot of trouble because a disciplined dangerous man will only cause trouble to the evil.
Do you have an example of like a dangerous weak man?
Yeah, I think of any form of terrorism, weakness. They don't feel like they can compete. They have an ideology they want to get across, so they take the cheap way out and they target innocent people. It's classic weak mindset.
Kind of like putting women and children
at risk because you can't fight because you don't have whatever it may be. Yeah, I think it's probably the biggest one that I can think of.
What do you hope your congregation learns from seeing their pastor train jiu-jitsu? Do they know?
They do.
They do, right?
I've shared on it a few times when I've shared on a Sunday. One of the things I think getting your body moving and active is important for every single person. So I hope they all would learn that. And then also with jiu-jitsu is just like you said, being calm under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
For any person, storms are going to come. You'll be put in situations you don't want to be in. How do you react to it?
You need to steal the mic from that guy every now.
Hey,
he does an awesome job. I mean, actually, all you guys.
Yeah.
During service.
We got a great team, man.
Yeah, and oh my gosh, forgive me. What's the name?
Pastor Glenn.
Glenn.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
He's my uncle, actually.
Is he really?
Yeah, my step uncle. So his youngest brother was my stepfather who passed away.
Oh no.
So his younger brother, was my stepdad.
He does a great job.
He's awesome, man. He's like a spiritual father for me. The reason I'm in ministry is because he saw it in me and called it out of me. And so.
He's a big dude.
He's a big dude. He's like 6'5".
You ever get him to train?
I wish, man. I can get him to golf. That's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does true strength look like to you now?
Oh, man. I think true strength is found in being surrendered to one who's stronger than you. You know, my strength is not in myself. My strength is in him. I can't take credit for any of it. He's taught it to me.
So a lot of UFC fight. Well, actually, a lot of sports in general. The first thing they do when they get the mic, first and foremost, I'd like to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So I had this idea and I can't think through it. So help me out, please.
Yeah.
If everyone has to thank their Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And it's because of him that they won.
Yep.
He's choosing who won?
I don't think that. I think they just want to talk about Jesus and they want to thank him.
And that's just the way they know.
And that's just the way they do it. You know,
if you're fighting with full faith and I'm fighting for full faith and we're fighting against each other.
Yeah.
We're like, only one person can win.
Yeah.
So I don't think picking favorites or
no, I don't think it's like that at all. I think we all have agency and free will, and whoever's going to win is going to win that day. And I think just thanking him for the ability to get in the ring, the ability to use a body, because some people don't have that.
Yeah.
You know? So I think that's the main heart behind it. I'd assume.
Do you think it's kind of become generic? Like kind of like.
I think for a long time it was I'd like to thank God, saying God. Now it's moving towards more saying I would like to thank Jesus Christ, which is kind of new.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
So yeah, most of the time
I'll have to pay attention.
Yeah, there's a clip of Dana White saying like one of the fighters said, "I'd like to thank Jesus," and he like has people like, "I don't want him, saying the name of Jesus or like sharing about that. Like keep that to yourself." But now I don't think he'd say that. I think the sentiment has shifted a little bit,
Mhm.
and I think that's kind of what we were talking about. This spiritual awakening of sorts, is people are coming to terms and saying like, "Okay, it's okay to."
How'd you feel when they started censoring that stuff? Did you remember that?
No,
I
so
think like CJ Stroud was like the
oh,
Texans quarterback. I think there's a clip where at the end of the game he said it and they clipped it out
censored it out.
and they made it look like it was like continuous. Like they made it
Yeah.
look like he didn't say it at all. But then people were posting the full clip like, what is this?
Why did you do that? Yeah, I'm not surprised. I think they do that for a reason. I mean, if you look at it, who do they like to clip out, censor out?
Mhm.
It's Jesus. It's
Yeah.
Jesus.
Why do you think?
I think because he's the one true king and they know it. Deep down. I really do.
I love it. All right. We can wrap it these questions.
Cool.
So this is from actually my buddy Dan last night. His kids go here, I believe, or
Oh, really?
Calgary. Yeah, I've seen them
Nice.
here. As a Christian, how do you choose when to force or oppose your will? Like an example, the founding fathers were justified rebelling against England as they were a government established by God.
Yeah.
So like I guess like he's saying the founding fathers rebelled against England, but England was actually a government established by God.
So I don't know all the history about it.
Mhm.
I'm not super in depth with it, but from what I remember from being in high school, which was a little while ago now, is that a lot of the reasons people left from England to come to America was for freedom of religion. They didn't want to be part of the Catholic Church. That was the only one. So the Puritans are the ones who came over. So I think them coming over wasn't them rebelling. It's just we will need to get to a new place where we can practice our religion freely, and I think that's okay. Now the revolution happened for other reasons because,
Yeah.
as we know,
Yeah, that's what
you know.
I was like, I'm gonna put that on his plate and see how he answers it.
Yeah,
'Cause
and maybe I'm uninformed. I might be. I'm not a big history guy, but
did God know that sin would enter the world before he chose to create the world?
mm,
And did God know that that was going to happen before creation?
yeah, that's a good question. The
He's
Bible doesn't answer that question, so I don't want to answer it. But
in frame.
all right, I think
All
we're
right.
good.
All right. Forgot where we left off.
So did God know sin would enter the world before He created it?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So the Bible doesn't explicitly say, but what we know about God is He is all-knowing. So yes, He knew sin would enter the world, and He still decided to create it. So that brings us to the point of, okay, well, why would He create it if He knew things would go bad? And I would say, in order to give the possibility of love, you have to give the possibility for someone to choose not to love you. Like if I gave my wife a love potion that made her love me no matter what, would that be true love? No, she has no choice. God gave the opportunity for us to either choose Him or not, and that was a risk.
That's funny. All right. So he took a leap of faith too.
Yeah.
Do people in church know you do jiu-jitsu? You already answered that. And is
Yep.
it a hidden ability?
Yeah, it's a secret ability I have,
From my buddy
only for
Zach.
when I need it.
Do you find a spiritual connection with martial arts?
I think there are spiritual connections that we can learn from both. But I don't think in the sense like you think of like, I think it's Tai Chi where they believe like this chi, this spiritual
Yeah.
force. I don't believe in all that, but I think you can learn
Like it
things.
calms your spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything like that. There might be, but
You answered almost all of them. This happens every time.
really?
Like by the end of like these podcasts, like a lot of time people brush up on like
Yeah.
I'll have I'll have like a list of 10 and then I'll read through it. I'm like, oh, I've got 3.
There you go.
What's your favorite Bible verse?
My favorite
Close it
Bible
out.
verse is John 10. You mind if I pull it up?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I want to quote it correctly, but I'll give you a little backstory while I pull it up. So this was when I first became a believer in Jesus.
Mhm.
I messed up. And before Christ, I used to smoke a lot of weed, used to party, used to drink.
Heck yeah.
And yeah, I went to a party and I just did some stupid stuff and I felt bad about it. And it was in one of those moments where I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I just threw open my Bible and it opened up to John chapter 10. And it says, In
Like,
John
throw up on
chapter
it?
10. Huh?
You
No,
threw
I,
up
I threw it open. Sorry. I threw it open.
But you're like drunk. Like, "Ugh."
No, yeah, that'd be a crazy story. So I threw the Bible open and it came up to John chapter 10. And basically the whole chapter is talking about Jesus being our shepherd who lays down his life for the sheep. But the verse that stuck out to me in that moment was Jesus says, I give them eternal life and they will never perish. No one can snatch them away from me. For my Father has given them to me and he is more powerful than anyone else. No one can snatch them from the Father's hand. The Father and I are one. So Jesus saying, hey, even though you feel like you messed up, you're still right in the palm of my hand. And there's no evil that can snatch you away because I got you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's the one that kind of drew you in.
That's one that is my favorite verse because of what it meant to me. In my failure, in my weakness, when I thought I had screwed up too bad, he reminded me, no, you're right in the palm of my hand. There's no evil that can snatch you away.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Do you have anything you want to close with or say, or your
Yeah.
podcast or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to follow our podcast, it's called the Fully Dedicated Podcast. We basically help people, talk about faith, talk about Jesus in a easier way than just coming to a church service. It's kind of an easier on-ramp. So if you're interested in that, you can follow us at Fully Dedicated Podcast on Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, any of that. Also, if you're in Clearwater area, we've got a church here, Countryside Christian Church. We got services on Sunday mornings. We'd love to have you. So
You're also online, right? You can
yeah,
the
we
service
watch online. So that's a great one. If you want to watch us online, you can go to our YouTube. Just look up Countryside Christian Church. We live stream all of our messages every Sunday.
I don't know if it's at the point where I can put links in there, or I just don't know how yet.
Yeah.
But I'll get all your info and
Cool.
I'll at least post it in the or in the description and stuff.
That'd be great.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, bro.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, bro.
I've learned a lot today.
Yeah, dude.
They try to drown me. I can swim upstream so profoundly. I can stay calm in a dire situation. I'm at it every day, no time for a vacation. And I smell blood in the water. Everything I do, yeah, I do it for my daughters. Now I'm gonna shut your lips. It's time for a brand new episode of What? We talking jit, say what? We talking jit, say what? We talking jit, say what? We talking jit, said it's time for a brand new episode of Talking Jit.